Okay, today we discuss about the formation of Himalayas, how they are influencing the climate of India. The formation of Himalayas influences the climate of India in various ways. Acts as barriers protecting the great Indian plains from the cold winds of Central Asia during severe winds. These are reason for summer rains, monsoon type of climate beyond Western Ghats. In its absence, it would have remained drier. The Himalayan rivers perennial flow because these rivers are fed by the glaciers bring a lot of silt making the great Indian plains very fertile. So this is about the how the Himalayas been influencing the climate of India. Now let us explore about the Indo-Gangetic Plains. The Indo-Gangetic Plains. Okay, and the Indo-Gangetic Plains. The three Himalayan rivers, the three Himalayan rivers together forming the Great Northern Plains. That is, the interaction of three Himalayan rivers, Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra, and their tributaries resulted in the formation of Great Indian Plains. Indus, the Indus, the Ganges, the Brahmaputra, these are the three Himalayan rivers. These rivers are coming from the Himalayas, which means the major source for these three rivers. So the melting of glaciers. By the melting of the glaciers, the three Himalayan rivers are flowing. Because of these three Himalayan rivers, together these three Himalayan rivers resulting in the formation of Great Indian Plains. About 20 million years ago, it was a shallow basin. About 20 million years ago, 20 million years ago, it was a shallow basin. It was a shallow basin. The Himalayan rivers and its tributaries as flowing from the Himalayas. So as they are flowing towards the south, while they are coming down, they bring a lot of silt. They deposited silt and gravel and making the fertile soil, so which is called as the Gangetic Plains. So the Indian Gangetic Plains were mainly divided into three categories. The Indo-Gangetic Plains broadly consist of three divisions, that is western part, the central part, the eastern part. We see the western part, eastern part and central part in the map of India. This is a rough diagram of India. Indo-Gangetic Plains broadly consist of three divisions: the western part, the central part, and eastern part. The western part, central part, and the eastern part. The western part formed by Indus and their tributaries. The western part formed by Indus. The western part formed by Indus and their tributaries. This is the western part, and this is the central part, and this is the eastern part of the plains. The western part, this is mainly formed by the Indus River. Western part mainly formed by Indus River. Western part mainly formed by Indus River. Indus River and its tributaries. River and its tributaries. The tributaries here, the tributaries of Indus River: Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas, and Sutlej. These are the tributaries of the Indus River. Indus River and their tributaries, so together forming, this is the western part. The western part mainly formed by the Indus River and its tributaries. What are the tributaries of the Indus River? Here, that is the Chenab. The first one is the tributaries of the Indus River. The first one, Jhelum, the Chenab, the Ravi, the Beas, the Sutlej. These are the tributaries of Indus River. River Indus. So, Indus River. The western part is mainly lies in the Pakistan. Western part mainly lies in the Pakistan region. So only the minor portion is lived in the Punjab and Haryana plains. Only the minor portion lived in the Punjab and Haryana plains. The maximum portion was covered by the Pakistan. Doab features dominate fertile land between two rivers. Doab features dominate fertile land between two lands. What is meant by Doab? The land which is the land presenting in between the two rivers. The land presenting in between the two rivers is called as the Doab. The land. This is the land in between the two rivers. This is very fertile. Second one, the central part. First one, western part mainly formed by Indus River and its tributaries, the Jhelum, the Chenab, the Ravi, the Beas, the Sutlej. These are the tributaries, and the western part is mainly located, existing in the Pakistan, maximum portion existing in the Pakistan region. Only minor portion is lived in the Punjab and Haryana plains. Doab features dominate fertile land between two rivers. Now the central part. Now we'll explore and we'll discuss about the central part. The central part is known as Ganga Plain. The central part is known as Ganga Plain. Ganga Plain. The central part is known as Ganga Plain. Extends from Ganga to Tista. These are the rivers. The central part, this is extended from the Ganga River to Tista River. Ganga River to Tista River. Ganga to Tista. Ganga to Tista River. Mainly spread in UP, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar. Mainly spread in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. The central part is mainly in UP, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar. Uttar Pradesh state and Bihar state, and partly in the Haryana, Jharkhand and West Bengal. Partly in the Haryana, West Bengal and Jharkhand. Haryana, West Bengal and Jharkhand. Once again, I repeat, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. These are the state maximum area is covered in this region, and partly in the Haryana, West Bengal and Jharkhand states. Here, the river Ganga, Yamuna and their tributaries, Son, Kosi, etc. drain. Once again, the river Ganga, Yamuna and their tributaries. Ganga, Yamuna and their tributaries drain. Now the eastern part. Eastern part. The eastern part mainly exists in the Brahmaputra Valley of Assam. Eastern part mainly exists in eastern part mainly exists in the Brahmaputra Valley of Assam. Exists in Brahmaputra Valley in Assam. Brahmaputra Valley in Assam. The part mainly exists in the Brahmaputra Valley of Assam. The Brahmaputra River is mainly responsible for the formation of the eastern part. The Brahmaputra River is mainly reason for the formation. Brahmaputra River is main reason for the formation of eastern part. Is mainly responsible. Brahmaputra River is mainly responsible for the formation of eastern part. For the formation. This is the eastern part. This is the eastern part, and this is exists in the Brahmaputra Valley of Assam. Exists in the Brahmaputra Valley of Assam, and Brahmaputra River is main responsible for the formation. Himalayan rivers deposited gravel and pebble sediments in narrow belt. Himalayan rivers deposited gravel and pebble sediments in narrow belt. Gravel and pebble sediments. Gravel and pebble sediments. Pebble sediments. Himalayan rivers deposited gravel and pebble sediments in narrow belt of 8 to 16 kilometers width. 8 to 16 kilometers width. 8 to 16 kilometers width. So this is parallel to the foothills of the Shivaliks. Parallel to foothills of the Shivaliks. Himalayan rivers deposited gravel and pebble sediments. So in 8 to 16 kilometers width, in parallel and at the foothills of the Shivaliks, the southernmost mountain range in the Himalayas, that is Shivaliks. This feature is called Babar. This feature is called Babar. Once again, Himalayan rivers deposited gravel and pebble sediments in narrow belt of 8 to 16 kilometers width, found parallel to the foothills of the Shivaliks. This feature is called Babar. This feature is called Babar. This feature is called as the Babar. Parallel to the foothills of the Shivaliks in the width of 8 to 16 kilometers. This feature is called Babar. 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 Babar is porous in nature, means that allows water pass through it. Babar is porous in nature. Small rivers and streams flow underground through the Babar. Babar is porous in nature. Small rivers and streams flow underground through Babar and appear in lower areas and form swampy and marshy region. And form swampy and marshy region. Swampy and marshy region is called as terai. Swampy and marshy region called terai. Swampy and marshy region called terai. The region has thick forests and rich variety of wildlife. The terai region has thick forests and rich variety of wildlife. Owing to the migration at the time of partition of India, most of terai zone cleared and used for agricultural operations. The most of the terai zone cleared and used for the agricultural operations. Agricultural operations. Agricultural operation. Fine alluvial region found towards the south of the terai region. So fine alluvial plain region. Fine alluvial plain region found towards the south of the terai region. So this is about the three parts. The Indo-Genetic Plains broadly divided into the three parts, that is the western part, and the central part and eastern part. Three Himalayan rivers together forming the greater northern plains, that is the interaction of three Himalayan rivers Indus, Ganga and Brahmaputra and their tributaries resulted in the formation of Great Indian Plains. About 20 million years ago, it was a shallow basin that was filled with varied alluvial soil which was brought from the Himalayas. The Indo-Genetic Plains. So, first one, the western part formed by the Indus and their tributaries. The Jhelum, Chenab and Ravi, the Beas and Sutlej flowing from the Himalayas. Most of the Indus Basin is located in Pakistan and leaving minor portion of Punjab and Haryana plains. Though features dominate fertile and between the two rivers. The central part is known as Ganga Plain, extends from Ganga to Teesta. River mainly spread in Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, partly in Haryana, Jharkhand and West Bengal. Here the river Ganga, Yamuna and their tributaries, Son, Kosi, etc. drain. The eastern part. This part mainly exists in the Brahmaputra valley of Assam. The Brahmaputra river mainly responsible for its formation. Himalayan rivers deposited gravel and pebble sediments in narrow belt of 8 to 16 kilometers width. Found parallel to the foothills of the Shivaliks. So this feature is called Babar. Babar is porous in nature. Small rivers and streams flow underground through Babar and appear in lower area and form swampy and marshy region. The swampy and marshy region is called Terai. The region has thick forests, rich variety of wildlife. Owing to the migration at the time of partition of our India, most of Terai zone cleared and used for agricultural operation. Fine alluvial plain region found towards the south of Terai region.